everyone. This is Elliot Mellow with Bridgestone Golf. Thanks for the opportunity to talk with you today. I'm in charge of all the products here at Bridgestone. So everything from R&D to packaging to what is the story and the technology to working with the ad team on commercials to working with the sales force on how do we position the product and sell the product. So if it is a product with the Bridgestone logo on it, from concept through its product life cycle, me and my team are working on it in some way, shape, or form. And so I welcome the opportunity to kind of run you through the lineup of what we have going on here at Bridgestone Golf. So just a little context for you. We're one of over 200 Bridgestone businesses in the world, and I share this with you just to kind of reiterate that we are part of the larger Bridgestone Tire and Rubber. And the reason that this is important and a point of difference for us is being part of the Bridgestone Firestone umbrella. We are a member of the largest organization in the world that sells consumer rubber goods, and the golf ball itself is made out of rubber. So having a little bit of expertise and knowledge in this area is certainly helpful and allows us to kind of bring a next level of innovation, if you will. So when thinking about how we kind of plug into the whole picture, you know, we've got a wide range of professional golfers, including Tiger Woods, that play our product. And so when we're able to utilize them for feedback from an R&D standpoint, from a design standpoint, and you layer that in with all of these polymer and rubber scientists we have, these 900 engineers that we have around the world, we're able to do really unique things as it relates to the performance of the products. So, you know, if we decide we're trying to solve for a certain thing from a design standpoint or create a certain benefit for the consumer, you know, ultimately we can call the guy that makes the Indy 500 race tire, for example, and talk about high heat, high friction interactions. We can talk to folks that specialize in grips and aerodynamics and kind of see, you know, what are we doing on a tread for aerodynamics that we also can apply to a golf ball for dimples, et cetera. So having the larger Bridgestone organization is certainly a major point of difference for us when it comes to the product design, especially on the golf ball side. So we're going to run through kind of some of the core products, the core products being the balls and the bags that you all have the ability to sell. And then I know we've got some gloves and towels and umbrellas and some of the other items as well. But, you know, from a decorating standpoint, customizable standpoint, and then also usage standpoint, the balls and the bags are certainly kind of the sweet spot, I think, with the audience that you guys are reaching. So the first product we're going to get into here is our Tour B golf ball. You can kind of see the dimple there. It has a little bit of a dimple within a dimple look to it. So it's definitely, the ball itself has a unique presence visually over a traditional golf ball, but it also packs a lot of punch from the design standpoint as well. And so what you're looking at here is our Tour B series of golf balls. This is our professional grade ball, right? This is the top of the pyramid for us. These are the balls that are played professionally by people like Tiger Woods, Lexi Thompson, the greatest players on both the men's and the women's tours out there. It does come in 4 models, and we'll speak to these 4 as we get down the road here a little bit. But the big thing to be thinking about is we're all about personalization, customization, making sure people find their fit. From a performance standpoint, if we can help a golfer play the proper ball that best fits them, not only are they going to have a good experience with that golf ball and perform well, but they're also going to be more likely to come back and purchase that ball again because the experience was good. So each of these 4 models is aimed at a target player, and we'll talk through that in one of the slides coming up. From a technology standpoint, the Tour B is a unique golf ball amongst its peers in the tour ball category, the professional ball category. It has a material called Reactive IQ, which is essentially the cover has a chemical additive that's been applied to it. Something that, you know, going back to our R&D prowess from Big Bridgestone, we're able to put an additive into the cover. And essentially what happens with the additive is that it gives the golfer the best of both worlds. It gives them a product that's long and fast off the tee for great distance, and then it gives them a product that spin and stops real well around the green for control. So with traditional golf ball materials and design, there's a give or take. You can either make the ball long or you can make it spin a lot. You can't really do both of those things within one construction. But with the Reactive IQ that's on the Tour B, it allows us to push the envelopes of both long game power and distance, and also have short game control. So it's a truly differentiated product. It is co-designed by Tiger Woods. So over 6 years of design with Tiger. hand in hand with us to help design the material and design the golf balls. So designed and validated by the best and works well for players of all skill levels. Speaking of players of all skill levels and fitting, we think back to the 4 models that we have. We have the Tour B RX and RXS, which are the red box and the green box respectively. And so the red box, the Tour B RX, that's designed for players that swing under 105 miles per hour. So a slower swinging golfer who's really distance oriented, who if there was one thing we need to do, we need to hit it far. That's the Tour B RX for the player that's slower swinging. For the slower swinging player that wants control, more short game control, that would be the RXS, S for spin. So the RXS for the player that swings under 105 miles per hour and wants short game control. So you can kind of see with the visual there, I depicted some younger golfers. From a professional standpoint, the RX, the distance model in the under 105 category, that's played on the LPGA Tour professionally by Lexi Thompson. She's a very distance-oriented player, typically leads that tour in driving distance. And then the RXS is played on the Champions Tour, the Senior Tour by Freddie Couples. Fred Couples likes the control of that golf ball. But generally speaking, the RX and RXS are going to be at a younger player and or a slower swinging player. When you transition to the right side of the screen there, this is the Tour B X and XS. These are firmer compression golf balls. The overall construction of them is firmer. And they're designed for people that swing more aggressively in the over 105 mile per hour range. So the Tour BX is a distance-oriented product and really packs a lot of ball speed and velocity off the tee. And then the XS is the ball that Tiger helped us design, and it's a very, very high spin golf ball. It's probably the highest spin golf ball on the marketplace on approach shots in terms of stopping power on those balls coming into the green. And this is definitely your more athletic player. I got a picture of NCAA champs from a couple of years ago. The handful of those guys used our golf ball across the X and the XS. Much faster swingers, much more aggressive style of play, much more athletic players. But it kind of gives you an idea of kind of the 2 different subsets of the Tour B series, right? So you've got the X and the XS for that fast player, and then for the more moderate swing speeds, the under 105 player, you have the RX and RXS. To kind of paint a picture of kind of our overall business, basically 25% of players are in that over 105 category, with about 75 to 80% being in the under 105 category. And then amongst those 2 buckets respectively, then the under 105, the RX is our horse. That player's not swinging this fast. So they naturally want distance, and the RX delivers them distance. And then in the over 105 category, everybody loves Tiger's ball. If you're swinging over 105, you're hitting the ball a mile to begin with, so you maybe don't need the distance of the Tour BX, and you'll give up a little distance in favor of getting the spin that the Tour B XS provides for that player. So just to recap all of that on the Tour B series real quick, the Reactive IQ is the smart cover technology that's optimizing the needs of every shot. We have the 4 models, and fitting is really the focal point when it comes to the Tour B series. So that's kind of a quick recap on the Tour B. All of the balls can be decorated, and we'll go over some decoration options at the end. And they also are available as clean goods in just their stock form. So when we move from the Tour category, that moves us into the distance performance category. We have a few balls in the distance performance category. The first of which is here, you'll see, is our E12 golf ball. And this is a golf ball. It's all about straight distance. It's had a long heritage with us through a couple different name iterations over the years, but this ball in essence has been in our line for going on 15 years and has been amongst our best-selling golf balls through that time period. So the E12 contact is, you can see visually there, you can see the dimple on this ball is a little bit different. It has a raised dimple on it, and that provides a performance feature. It's called our contact force dimple, and it's a real point of differentiation amongst these mid-price golf balls. A lot of times the mid-price golf ball is just some recycled technology or old technology that they're trying to put into a ball to hit a price point. But the E12 is a purpose-built golf ball that's been fully engineered and has a suite of features that go into it while still being at an affordable rate. So the big technology on the E12 is that contact force dimple I was mentioning. And basically what happens with that contact force dimple, it gives better ball speed off the tee than a traditional dimple. There's better energy transfer from the driver into the ball, so we get better ball velocity. And then the flip side of that, it gets more short game control relative to its competitors because the additional surface of the dimple provides more friction. And then the way that the core of the E12 is designed, it's a very forgiving golf ball, as we say. It's a very accurate golf ball. It's a very straight golf ball. So very low on side spin. So it's not going to not be going right or left as aggressively as a traditional golf ball or a tour ball might go. So it's a very straight golf ball, and that's definitely one of the points of difference on the E12. So things to be keeping in mind. So when thinking about the E12, this is for a player that maybe is not as skilled, so they need help with accuracy. This is for a player that maybe they struggled to get the ball in the air. It's a soft golf ball that launches nice and high, and then it's also a product that's very distance oriented. So a player that that needs to hit the ball longer to be effective on the course, maybe a younger player, for example. When we look at our next ball in the distance performance line, that takes us to the E6. And the E6 has been a long-standing product for us as well. You can see on the side of the ball, it's got a nice arrow to help the golfer align it if they're looking to align their putts. So a visual technology that's been added to the ball. And the E6 is all about power and feel. So this ball is the two kind of selling features of it, if you will, are it gets good speed and it gets good, nice, soft feel. So when we say feel, some players, they don't like the vibration or the harshness of a firmer golf ball when they mishit it. They don't like that sensation, that vibrating sensation. So the softer golf ball has more kind of anti-vibration properties to it. So with the E6, we don't have the accuracy feature that we have in the E12. We don't have the short game feature that we have in the Tour B, but it's still a long golf ball nonetheless. And so the E6, the package there, just to give you one last look at it, it's a horse for us at traditional sporting goods retailers. This is amongst our best-selling golf balls. So it's definitely for a slightly more casual player, a player that maybe they lose a lot of golf balls and they need to be price sensitive because they go through a lot of golf balls. Good consideration for them here in the E6. So the Lady Precept, this is the number one selling ladies ball in golf. It has been for the better part of 16, 17 years now at this point in time. So it is a flagship model for us from that point of view. It is purposely designed for a lady player. And so we know from data and testing that generally speaking, a lady golfer, they're looking for something softer, like we talked about on E6. They're looking for a ball that launches higher. They need something to help get the ball in the air easier. So many times not as aggressive of a swing speed. So since their swing's not naturally pushing the ball down the fairway as far, optimizing the launch and getting the ball flight up helps with distance as well. And so that's one of the features in the Lady Precept. And as I mentioned, it's been a number one selling ball for us for a very long time. This is a great product for a younger audience and or a female audience that's looking to optimize distance. So works great for a junior golfer, male or female, that isn't moving the club very aggressively and could stand to get a little bit more height out of their shots. So from a decorating standpoint, all of the balls, they can be sold as clean goods, but then we also have the ability to do a logo or a personalization. So when we say personalization, that could be something that could be somebody's name. We could put a school name on there. We can do up to 3 lines of text on there. So we do have a little bit of flexibility on how we personalize. And then if we're wanting a more custom solution, that would be the logo solution. And we can print those up to 6 color. They can be rectangle, square, whatever shape we need them to be, as long as they fit into a 7/8 of an inch circular area. And then those are a little bit longer lead time than the personalized and clean golf balls. We mentioned bags when the conversation started. So I'm going to frame up the bag situation kind of into 3 different buckets, right? So when thinking about student athletes, coaches, etc., there's different ways in which they participate in golf. Some of them might walk and carry a golf bag. This would be, high school, college men's teams for sure. Those guys, they have a bag that they're carrying. It's a bag like this lightweight stand bag that you see in front of you. It has the straps on it are kind of like a backpack strap, where there's a strap going over each arm, and the weight is very balanced, and it's comfortable for them to walk 18 holes and carry this bag. And so that's essentially what the lightweight bag is for the player that's that's typically walking a lot, and or a younger player that doesn't like the weight of a heavier bag. They might use a push cart or ride with their parents, but they just don't like maneuvering the weight of a heavier bag. So they might like the lightweight feature of the stand bag. But it's definitely built to be kind of encapsulate kind of anything a golfer would need on the course. It's got a pouch that is that's lined for valuables, so they can put a phone and keys, things of that nature in there, and they won't scratch up. It's got a insulated water bottle pouch that that is accessible when being carried as well as on the ground. So when they're carrying like a backpack, it's easy to reach for their water bottle and get a drink of water while they're walking on the fairway. The pockets are very accessible from the walking position. So if they're needing to get something out of their bag as they're positioning themselves for their next shot, they're able to do that easily. This bag is definitely designed for the player who walks. It is available in the 3 colors there. And we can do a single embroidery hit on this. Once again, either personalized or with a school logo. We have a 14-way stand bag. This one I classify for the player who occasionally walks. And so what I mean by that is this might be a player that walks now and then, but maybe they're using a push cart. Many of the competitions are allowed to use a push cart, which is essentially like a little dolly that the cart goes onto, right? So this bag, it has some more features in terms of storage and protection of the gear and things of that nature, but it does have more weight, and it really isn't designed for a full-time walker or a person that carries their club. So when we say 14-way stand bag, that means on the top, each club has its own individual divider. So the clubs are less likely to get scratched, less likely to clink around and make noise. The pocketing on it is larger. So there are larger pockets. We do that and give up the water bottle pouch, for example. So the feature that's valuable to the carrying golfer in the lightweight sandbag, the water bottle pouch, we give that up for this player because they maybe are carrying rain gear or a jacket and they need more storage area. And so that's what this bag provides, is more gear, more opportunity to put stuff in there. This one can also be embroidered, personalized, and it comes in the 2 colors of black and blue. And then we have the cart bag. And so the cart bag would be for a player that basically never carries their clubs. So a coach might like this if they're riding around out there and the clubs never come off the cart, and it's got a bunch of storage in there. And they could have extra balls, extra hats for their players, et cetera, that they could be pulling out. We see a lot of female golfers who are using a push cart and not carrying their clubs. So this thing goes onto a push cart, and they've got all the gear they could possibly need. They've got training aids in there. They've got rain jackets. They've got extra hats. They've got sunglasses. All this equipment, they're able to put it in there because of the larger bag and the larger format of pockets. So that kind of gives you an idea of kind of the 3 different buckets there are when it comes to the bags. So once again, appreciate the opportunity. We appreciate the partnership. I think we got a great suite of products as relate to the performance of the golf balls, the results that players see on the course when using our golf balls, especially with them being co-designed by some of the greatest players to ever play the game. And then I think on the bag front, I think we got some nice options that are a complement to all the products that you guys are selling. And I think between kind of the total sum of what we have here, I think we got some unique offerings that you guys can really hit the ground running with. We're depending on seasonality. We're finishing up the season in some parts of the country. We're getting ready for it kind of after the new year in other parts. So timing's good. All these products continue to be in our line. They continue to be amongst our best-selling products, which is why we've decided to partner with you guys on these particular SKUs. And any of the questions that flow in throughout the segment here, we'll follow up with the group with some answers and some clarity. And we're here to help. We live this stuff day in and day out. This is our core competency, golf equipment. So if you need clarity on anything or any more answers or information, by all means, let us know what we can do to get you the tools you need to continue to do a great job out there. Thanks.